is and should be a touchdown. Here we go. Bryson Barnes has got his back behind him. It is Jaquindon Jackson. Here's the snap. Bryson Barnes looking deep. He's got a man. It's caught! He's gone! Touchdown early! Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to College Football Wraparound. I'm Cooper Naylor, and folks, tonight is a night that is always really fun for preseason when it comes to college football, and that is, it is prediction time. And, of course, I can't do this without bringing Colton on. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So, tonight, we got a bunch of predictions that we are going to be going through. Namely, we're going to do some Heisman finalists. We're going to do some conference championship games and champions. We're going to look at the college football playoff. And then we got hot seat coaches and our surprise team. So, Colton, what a night we're fixing to have.
Yep. Always exciting.
All right. So, let's start out with this. Heisman finalist. So, Colton, who do you have as your Heisman finalist? And if you have an order, you can go ahead and say that order.
All right, so I don't necessarily have an order, but I got 4. I don't know how many you got, but typically 4 is the number we do, right? So I got John Mateer from Oklahoma. Pretty self-explanatory. Just transferred in. Had a Heisman-like season at Washington State last year for about 8 games, and then obviously fell off a little bit. But, and I know every year the same thing. Dylan Gabriel, everyone said, oh, he's going to win Heisman. Didn't do it. Everyone said Jackson Arnold could have done it. Didn't happen. But this guy feels different. He seems pretty good. And I don't know. I think he's pretty good. And I think overall, being that Deion Burks is healthy, there's some transfers. They got Sertegna now. So, it should be pretty good. Then we got Lenore Sellers from South Carolina. He's another one I feel like a lot of people might not think is Heisman worthy, especially because South Carolina does really have a crazy good team. But last year I felt like he was way better than he should have been, and given that they've improved at least to what I've seen, and they have a fairly easy schedule considering they're in the SEC, so I think he has a good chance of doing really well. Then I got Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. Pretty self-explanatory. You got to put a receiver in there, and it was really hard to decide between him and Ryan Williams. But ultimately, I picked him because, Julian Sayin potentially could be the starting QB for Ohio, or I think he will be the starting QB for Ohio State this year. So, and no matter who it is, Ohio State has like 4 starting caliber QBs. They have a great offensive line. Just came off of a national championship run. So, Lenore Sellers Jeremiah Smith is a pretty safe option too. Then lastly, I got Drew Aller from Penn State. Again, pretty self-explanatory, but Penn State has built pretty well around him. Went to the Final Four last year, right?
Yeah, semifinals.
Mm-hmm. So I think there's a good chance Drew Aller does well. He probably could have went pro and been one of the top QBs. So I think he'll probably ultimately end up being a finalist. And I don't know if you picked a winner, but I picked my winner as Jeremiah Smith just because it's kind of like a Devontae Smith thing. I feel like ultimately the committee's just going to think, why not? And plus, I feel like here recently they started to stop picking QBs as often, and they started being like, what if we let, last year cornerback or receiver, he won, and it feels less like a QB award and more like a most popular award in a way.
Yeah.
And I feel like Jeremiah Smith is extremely popular, and I feel like it's a very similar situation to a Travis Hunter or Devontae Smith. So that's my 4.
Okay. And I'll get yours put on the screen here in a little bit.
All right.
But mine, so I did put mine on the screen. I have only 3. So And I got right there. I got the list of who I had in order of who's going to win. So first off, I got Jeremiah Smith. This is a really great receiver. He almost reminds you of like a Marvin Harrison type, just a big type receiver. Another guy that you could compare to is Julio Jones.
Yeah.
With the way that he's a big built receiver who really he could be a tight end by the way he's built. But he can go up. He can go up and make plays that not a lot of receivers can make. And so I think that he's going to be the second receiver in the 2020s to win the Heisman after Devontae Smith. And I got to tell you, this Jeremiah Smith, he's one of those guys that once he gets to the pros, he could be a number one receiver right out of college. He is that good right now, and Ohio State is lucky to have him. Secondly, I have Ryan Williams. And I want to ask you, I don't remember a time where the top two spots for the Heisman were receivers.
I don't think so either.
So Ryan Williams is my number 2. Another guy who is incredible. He can make plays on the field that really not a lot of guys can make. And quite frankly, he's a lot smaller. He's not big like Jeremiah Smith, but he's kind of like he's like Devontae Smith in a way, where he may not be the biggest guy, but he has that ability to make enough space and make plays for your team in timely situations. And if you look at Alabama's offense last season, it was not great with Jalen Milroe as quarterback. It just was not good. And the fact that he played as good as he did shows a lot for how good this guy is. And if Ty Simpson can play any better than Jalen Milroe, Ryan Williams is only going to get better, which is a scary thought because this is a guy who was a freshman last season. Jeremiah Smith, same thing, freshman last year.
And he's built more like a pro receiver. Like and the way he runs, it's very much like how they teach in the pros. So,
well, a good example of that was Alabama down, I believe it was 34-33, there with like a minute left in the ball game. Jalen Milroe throws it up, and Ryan Williams goes up and catches it. He does two spin moves, gets away from defenders, and runs into the end zone for the touchdown, which was a ridiculous play.
And he has tons of those.
Right.
Especially that first game. That first game was bizarre.
So Ryan Williams is my number 2. Number 3 is a guy that has both ties to both Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams in the way that he started his career at Alabama. He plays for Ohio State now, and that is Caleb Downs. This is the best defensive player in college football in my mind. He's a defensive back who can make any play out on the field that he needs to make at the right time. And if I'm not mistaken, he's played special teams for Ohio State, and he is so good on the special teams side of the ball as well. So Caleb Downs is a very athletic guy who can really make things happen. So Caleb Downs is my number 3. Yeah. Also, to clarify a point I made a minute ago, Jeremiah Smith or Ryan Williams would be the third receiver in the 2020s if you count Travis Hunter last season, who was both receiver and defensive back. So that's just clarifying the statement that I made a little bit ago.
Yeah. My only, really, I think you have a good list. My only complaint is two receivers is very rare in the top 3. Like you said, they're probably the 2 best overall players, you know? So, overall good list. I like mine more because I feel like there's always that one surprise guy. That's why I threw more Sellers in there. And it's usually always quarterbacks are primarily in the top 3, you know? So that's why John Mateer, Drew Aller. I think ultimately you will get at least one QB in the top 3. So.
All right. And that is right on your Heisman finalists, right?
Yeah.
All right. I was just going to show Colton's Heisman finalists for those.
You got John Mateer in there too, right?
Yeah. Because we didn't put any kind of anything for Colton. So there is his information there for who his finalists are, who he has winning the Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Colton's list right there for you folks if you missed it. All right, so that is the Heisman finalists. Now let's move on. We're going to go one championship game at a time. And I'm going to ask Colton, do you want to start with Big 12 or SEC? Which way would you rather start?
I got mine listed SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC, but we can go backwards. You start ACC, Big 12, Big 10, SEC, or whichever way you want to do.
Yeah, let's go backwards. So let's start with the ACC.
Got it.
So, let's go ahead and who do you have in the ACC championship?
So, ACC championship, I got Miami versus Clemson. Then I got Miami winning that.
Any explanation as to why you have Miami winning?
Yes. So, okay. So I think the majority of people, and I'm sure you probably have this too, everyone believes Clemson easily landslide wins this. And okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. ACC is the conference I don't really care or keep up with until like mid-season, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it just doesn't seem like recruiting. Like it seems like they're super quiet, you know. Besides Clemson, right, and Florida State, but I just don't see Florida State going 2-10 last year and turning around, and they could very possibly. Plus, I really love the coaching staff. I think it's been more gradual. I think they'll probably win 7-8 games this year, and then next year, you know, they'll probably be back contenders. But as of right now, I think this is a safe championship. I just think. You know, I think this is the one most people's going to have. I just think Miami's overall, if you can go position by position, you know, Carson Beck versus K. Klubnik. Carson Beck's, well, that was arguable, but I think Carson Beck's overall a better player. Running back wise, Miami has better running backs. Receivers are a little bit more of a toss up, but I like Miami's receivers. So I got Miami. I think you asked me this in 2 weeks, and I'll probably give you a different answer. But as of right now, I think this is best I can do.
All right. Well, that is his ACC championship game. So here's mine. Literally the same thing. Clemson versus Miami. Now, I will say this. I believe Clemson will win the football game, and I think it comes down to this. I think it's going to come down to a quarterback duel between Klubnik and Carson Beck.
Very close, too.
Right.
They're both pretty overrated.
I would agree. I think Klubnik's not really a Heisman-like guy who a lot of people think he's Heisman-worthy, which
they just say
I didn't see that.
Everyone thinks he's like Trevor Lawrence 2.0.
Right.
Which, if he is Trevor Lawrence 2.0, he's pretty bad. Well,
right.
Pro-wise, I don't remember much from college from Trevor Lawrence, but.
And I mean, okay, I'm not saying that he can't be good because let's go back and look at this. Joe Burrow's last season at LSU, look what he did. Mm-hmm. Because he came in, everybody was like, okay, this guy's overrated. He's not that good. He comes out that next season and he obliterates everybody.
50 touchdowns.
Yeah. So I'm not saying it can't be done, but today's landscape of college football and K. Klubnik, I don't believe that he can do it. I don't think he can be that guy that everybody thinks he's going to be. But, however, I do think he's good enough to get them their second straight ACC championship win. And
they have a good team around them, to be fair.
They really do.
So does Miami, though.
Right.
That one, I think, is like the most obvious. Like, I think the rest of these we're going to disagree on as far as who the two teams are, but...
Right.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We're going to go to the Big 12. Yeah. Okay. Whenever you're ready, Colton.
All right. So my Big 12, I got Colorado versus Kansas State. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of the same thing as ACC. But okay, to be fair, I keep up with the Big 12 a little more, just because Big 12 is fun, but they're not exactly a good conference. Honestly, because it's like you look at it and it's like Arizona's a good team, but they're missing a lot of pieces. You know, they have a lot of problems there. You look, Utah's a great coach. Usually they're always good, but it's like who's their quarterback?
Right.
There's questions in every single team in the Big 12. So it's just like who has the least questions? Kansas State. Great quarterback, pretty good coach. They have problems too, but I feel like they're the safest option. And then it's just like, who's that other team? I just picked Colorado. I was like, why not? I'd love to see Coach Prime make it. Plus, also, a lot of their problem was they're overhyped, and everyone's like, "Oh, Colorado's great. Shador's awesome." They don't have Shador anymore. They don't have Travis Hunter. And correct me if I'm wrong, they got the dude from Liberty as their quarterback now.
I think so. I think Caden Salter.
And he is a much better. I like Shador for the most part, quarterback wise, but he is nowhere near as good as Caden Salter. So, given they have a better quarterback now, in my opinion, the coach has been there for 3 years now, Dion. I feel like they could be good. I don't know conference championship wise, but I put them in there just to see,
Right.
And then I got K-State winning for obvious reasons. But if Colorado makes it, that's a win in and of itself. So,
well,
for them,
I'll be funny here for a minute, because if Colorado wins, at least it won't be nepotism, like Shane Gillis said about Shador getting his jersey retired. Because hey, at least they would actually have Cade Salter would have an argument for why he should have his jersey retired.
Yeah. And also, just to put this out there, if Colorado does make it, this is kind of a contradiction putting Colorado here, because I didn't have Caden Salter in my Heisman. Let's be honest, if Colorado makes it to the conference championship game and wins, let's say 10 games, he's gonna be in the Heisman conversation just because it's
because it's playing for Dion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can go ahead with yours.
All right. So my Big 12 championship game, I got Iowa State and Texas Tech.
That was also one I thought about putting Iowa State in there, but it was just like, I don't know. It's just there's so many questions with the Big 12.
Right. And here's my thing. I think, and if I'm correct, I believe Rocco Becht is back, isn't he?
I think so.
So, this is going to be his third year as the starting quarterback for the Cyclones.
And he's good.
And if you looked at last year, I thought that they were almost there. But they just got bludgeoned by Arizona State.
They fell off. They fell off towards the end.
Right. And so I think I just got a gut feeling, like after that, is it the Cheez-It Bowl that they played against Miami?
I think so.
Pop-Tarts Bowl. That's right, Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Yeah.
Either way, I felt like they played a great game. It gave them a lot of confidence coming into this next season. And so I like where Iowa State's at. I think they are by far the best team in the Big 12 going into the season.
Better than Coach Prime?
Yes. Texas Tech, on the other hand, I feel like they're a team that they were getting there in the last season. They actually, when Iowa State was undefeated last year, Texas Tech's the one that went into Iowa State and beat them to break that undefeated streak that Iowa State had.
But how many?
So I think that Texas Tech is going to be a good football team this season, and so I like them to get to the Big 12 championship. But they're not. I don't think they're going to win it. I think Iowa State gets the win in this, but I think they are a good quality team that you could actually potentially, depending on how they do and how Iowa State does, you could see two Big 12 teams get into the 12-team playoff. Potentially. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but potentially.
Okay.
I do think this matchup will be a whole lot better than Clemson-Miami just because if you look at it, I think Clemson will be in the playoff. Miami, I don't think has a shot. And these two teams right here, I think actually do potentially have a shot to be in.
Like I said, Big 12 is way funner than ACC. So ultimately, I think, that game would be a lot better just because it'd be fun. All right, so Big 10 now?
Yep.
All right. I don't think mine's probably not going to be right here. This is kind of the same thing as Colorado. I just picked because I thought I don't want to see the same teams every year for the Big 10. Because think about it, every year it's Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, I guess now Oregon. It's always the same couple teams rotated, right?
Or Oregon and Penn State was a completely new matchup with the new rules for the Big Ten championship. It was a completely new.
Yes, but Penn State gets in there. They've been in there like a ton of times. And you know Oregon's going to be in there a ton of times. You know, it's like boring to me, right?
Okay.
So that's why I was like, okay, obviously you're gonna put Ohio State in there, right? You got to obviously Ohio State's gonna be there because it's Ohio State, and they're coming off a crazy season, you
Right.
know, momentum. And I actually think this might be the year they beat Michigan. As sad as that is, you win a championship, but you can't beat Michigan.
Michigan went in that game, folks.
They were like 5-6.
They were like 6-5, I think.
They were horrible
going into that game.
They didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah, it was 10.
They had
it was 10-1. I believe it was 10-1 Ohio State versus 6-5 Michigan, and 6-5 Michigan upsets Ohio State in the shoe.
Yeah. Anyway, I put Ohio State in there. And then I thought, at first I put Oregon in there, and I was like, that's kind of boring. So I thought, what wouldn't be boring? I was like, they have Dollar Tree Patrick Mahomes in the Big Ten.
Oh, I know where you're going with that.
I thought Dylan Raiola is pretty good. I like their coach.
No.
This would be bizarre, but what if Nebraska makes it in? So that's who I picked. Obviously, they have absolutely zero shot, to win this, but I got Ohio State beating Nebraska. I think it's stupid, but be honest, it would be different, and it would be so much more fun than just seeing the same 6-7 teams.
I do have to agree that this would be
it'd be a fun game.
This would be a fun football game. Plus, I do think this year, being third year for Matt Rule, Nebraska's going to be a good football team. Plus, Raiola was a freshman last year.
Mm-hmm.
And this is his second year in college.
And they got a lot of good receivers around him.
Yeah.
I don't think their defense is much better, but
Nebraska football, I think's back.
To an extent. I don't know. I don't know conference championship. Same thing as Colorado. It's just what if, but
yeah. Hey,
I want to be different.
This is what predictions are for, We'll go back and look at how stupid some of this
if
is
they make it, if they make it, then you owe me $100.
Okay. I guess.
It'd be funny.
All right, my Big Ten championship, folks. We both have Ohio State, but I think Penn State gets there for 6 straight years.
That's the safe option, really.
And I think Drew Aller. And here's my thing: I think Drew Aller is a good quality quarterback to get you through the Big Ten. But can he lead your team to 2 straight years going to the semifinals of the college football playoff? Also, it depends on the draw you get because, they had the easiest draw of any team going to that college football playoff.
Yeah.
If we're going to be honest. And they were the 6th seed, I believe. Yeah, they were the 6th seed, and they had the easiest draw of anybody. That just shows you how messed up the seeding was last year. But I digress on that. I'll just say this. I think Penn State and Ohio State, it's a safe option, but I think they're the 2 best teams going into the Big Ten this season. Both teams are going to be in the college football playoff next year. This season. I don't have any doubt of that. So
you're not going to let my playoffs.
I think this is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think all my predictions are going to be so off. So SEC, right? Honestly, I'm not proud of this one. But, I'm going to go with it. And if I'm right, it's going to be kind of funny. So, okay, obviously, Georgia, they're going to be in it. Whether you admit it or not, they're going to be in it. It's Georgia. And then this is kind of the same thing as Nebraska. I was like, I don't want to see the same teams. I don't want to see Texas in there. I don't want to see... I'd like to see Oklahoma in there, but I didn't pick them. Same thing with Alabama. I was like, ooh, Auburn. I think Auburn would be cool. Then I thought, there's another team called the Tigers. Missouri. And I was like, nah. Then I thought, what about LSU? So I was like, okay, LSU's got it. They have a good coach. They have, they're definitely the type of team to be 10-2, but win most of their SEC games, and then turn around and get destroyed by Georgia, But I thought this would be a cool, fun championship. So,
well, if you look at
and they have a good quarterback.
This is not actually a crazy guess because, LSU is going to be a really good football team. I think they'll be in the playoffs.
They have arguably the best, most underrated quarterback.
Right.
I don't want to try to pronounce his last name.
Nussmeier?
Nessmeyer, thank you. He's not like crazy good, but it's kind of like the guy at Illinois last year.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that kind of good.
I
Like
think it's Luke Altmaier.
Luke Altmaier, like the type of guy who's like, oh, he's not great. Like Cameron Rising's another one. It's like he's not great, but
Cam Rising is retired now.
Yeah, but it's like he's not great, but he can win you games. So, do you want a great quarterback who's going to lose you games, or a good quarterback who's going to win you games? So,
right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna judge you on this. I think this is a good assumption.
It'd be fun
because if you look at the SEC this season, let's be honest, you could legitimately look at like
6 or 7 different.
I would say 13 of the 16 schools could legitimately be in the SEC.
No, what if I whipped out Vandy, Mississippi State? What would you think?
That's stupid crazy because that would happen.
But be honest,
Vanderbilt is not gonna get there. They're gonna be a good quality football team. And you think
Mississippi State would? Mississippi State's way worse.
I was about to get there. Mississippi State ain't gonna get there either.
Okay.
Not this season.
I can see Vandy before I can see Mississippi State. Ironically,
I would agree. I'd agree. All right, my SEC championship game is a little different.
Alabama, isn't it?
Alabama and Texas. Now, let me explain this, okay? Texas is, in our SBN rankings, the number one team going into the football season. You got guys like Anthony Hill Jr. on the defensive side of the football. You got Arch Manning, who is finally going to get his chance to be the starting quarterback. He's had to sit behind Quinn Ewers for a couple of years. This is Arch's chance. I think that Texas will seize this opportunity and be one of the best teams in college football. However, Alabama will meet them in Atlanta for the SEC championship game. And it's Alabama that will break an undefeated season of Texas, and both teams will be in the college football playoff. And with the new rules of the college football playoff, they will both be in the top 4 because they are 2 of the 4 best teams in college football. So that's my SEC championship game.
Fair enough. I think Georgia's got to be in there. And if I'm being honest, I'd love to see Bama in there. I don't see it. I like the coach. I just think he has way too much pressure. There's no way he, succeeds with the pressure.
All right. So, now we are moving on to the last 2 portions. Well, we got 3, but we're not going to put the playoff predictions because it's just so much to put in
12
there.
Teams. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just too much to put on the screen. So, we're going to just do this. I'm just going to grab my iPad for the playoff portion of it whenever we get to that.
We'll do playoffs last, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, hot seat coaches?
Yep.
All right. Do you want to do, bounce? Do me do one and you? Or do you want to just do all? I have 4.
All right. You go ahead and do all 4 of yours.
All right. So, first off, do you want the obvious or do you want the less obvious first?
Less obvious.
Less obvious? Well, these are all fairly obvious. So I got Brent Venables, Oklahoma. This one I've been saying for years, but it's true. I think this is the last straw. First year, injuries hurt, and then second year he did good, and then he fell off a cliff towards the end. Then last year injuries were the problem, but even when we were healthy, there were a lot more issues, right?
Right.
So I feel like now you have crazy good recruiting class this year. There's no excuse, If Oklahoma's bad, he's gone. I think that's undeniable. Right. I don't care if they gave him an extension. I think they just gave him the extension just to see, But I think he's very hot seat. Then we'll do Hugh Freeze next. I got Hugh Freeze Auburn. Pretty same situation. His first year was kind of okay, first year. And then last year was just it felt
5 and 7.
It felt like last year there was a big part of me that thought he's gonna get fired, and he didn't, and he had health problems. I feel like not that really made them more lenient, but I feel like there's a lot to that,
Right.
So seeing now they also had a really good recruiting class. They have a lot of talent. if he messes up with knowing Auburn's track record, if he messes up with this recruiting class with everything looking good for him, and they considering they're in the SEC, which is a really tough conference, they have an easy enough schedule. Not that I'm saying they have an easy schedule,
Right.
but it's not the most difficult. It's not like Florida's last year. You remember that schedule?
Florida's schedule this year is going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean Florida always gets the short straw. So I think Auburn. I would go as far as to say 6-6. He's gone. He's got to at least make a higher level bowl game to be stick around. You know.
Right.
Yeah, that I think even if it's really playoff or hot seat for him at this point because his first 2 years were so questionable. I mean, they lost to New Mexico State the first year, which is pretty much Vandy now, but Anyway, so then third option, we'll keep the SEC streak alive. We got Sam Pittman, Arkansas. He's another guy we've been saying is on the hot seat pretty much since he's been there. Other than that 1 year where they won 8 games, he's done nothing. Just bad year after bad year. And then last year was a decent year, but it's still with that, it's just like it was a fluke year because they had like the easiest schedule in the SEC. Like they had a stretch where they played like Auburn, A&M. Like it was a really just weaker schedule, and they got lucky. Like the games we thought would be hard for them, like Oklahoma State and Baylor, right? They played Baylor. I think they did. Anyway, like the games that people thought would be hard for them, they just easily won. But then the games everyone thought would be easy for them, they lost.
Right.
So you got to put Sam Pittman in there. And lastly, not SEC, we got Luke Fickell from Wisconsin. He's one of those guys, kind of like Hugh Freeze. When he got there, everyone was like, oh, this is a great signing, amazing coach, was great in Cincinnati. Gets to Wisconsin, and it's just been horrible. He's been a step down for Wisconsin. I think he's like wasn't last year the first time they missed bowl game like forever?
Oh, yeah. Long time.
And it's not even that he's a bad coach. It's just he's not Big Ten coach. Like he honestly he could have stayed at Cincinnati Big 12 and he would be in the playoff last year. Like I genuinely think it's just a style play. He's just not built for it. So he's one of those guys who honestly I want him to get fired because it would help his career. If he just gets fired, goes let's say small school, like I would go as far as to say he would be successful at a team like UConn or like, group of 5, like middle of the road school like that. I feel like he'd be perfect at. But really, he's not really on the hot seat because I think he's a bad coach. He's on the hot seat because I think he's at a team that he's just not going to win at. And Wisconsin's a team that they could get much more, not talented, but they get a coach who fits better,
Yeah.
Like, look at Kirsinetti. He was a guy everyone thought, oh, he'll do horrible at Indiana. He was a great coach because his style was a Big Ten style play.
Also, Indiana's schedule was like a cakewalk.
Okay. There was a lot of cakewalk schedules last year.
Go look at Indiana's schedule for the next few years. It's a cakewalk for the Hoosiers.
But the hard truth is Alabama had a cakewalk schedule and they lost to Vandy. So
last year,
Oklahoma was bad.
That's
Vandy
another
was
debate
bad.
for another day.
Oklahoma and Vandy were really bad and they lost to both of them.
True.
So anyway, not to get off topic, but we'll see. I could see all 4 of these guys having a Sam Pittman style, flukier. But I think these are 4 guys. Personally, I would say there's a certain spot, like there's a certain amount of wins they have to get. Like in the college football game, you have those goals you have to match, or you're not getting re-signed, you're getting fired. I feel like that's kind of where they're at. Like Brent Venables has to, 9 wins at the least, have to be a playoff caliber team. I feel like he's got to do that. Hugh Freeze, same deal. Sam Pittman's got to just do something,
Right.
And then Luke Fickell's same thing. But yeah, that's my list.
All right. So now we get to my list. So here we go. And I know it's kind of like, okay.
So you just went with the big names and Sam Pittman.
But let's look at this stuff. Ryan Day and
won
Ohio
a national
State
championship.
But
probably gonna have the highest.
Let's look at this stuff. Although they won the national championship, What is it that their fans want more than anything?
A
And
national
this is how
championship.
stupid it is.
A national championship.
But they want to beat Michigan.
No, they want national
They want to
championship.
beat Michigan. Go ask any Ohio State person. Go ask any Michigan person. What is the big thing they want to do? They want to beat each other. And Ohio State hasn't done it in 4 years. Imagine if they go half a decade without beating the team up north.
How long has it been since Auburn's beat Alabama?
Same time frame.
And have they fired Hugh Freeze yet?
Also, Hugh
And
Freeze
they're
has
not
been the
gonna-
coaches long.
How many
so-
times? How many times did Gus lose to Alabama in a row?
Not as much as what Auburn
It had to
yet.
been like at a point. Had to been like 4 or 5 in a row.
I don't think
There was
so.
probably a point.
Because they won 2013, 2017, 2019.
So from 14, 15, and 16, they lost every year.
That's only 3 years.
3 years is a really long time in football.
True.
That's like a whole freshman class, pretty much.
Yeah. But getting back to my point,
Okay.
if Ohio State doesn't win the game, and let's imagine this. Let's imagine that they end up 9-3 and they are not in contention for the college football playoff. Ryan Day will be packing his bags, or either he may just walk out himself. He may just look at it and be like, you know what? I'm fixing to get fired. I'm leaving for an NFL
Okay, I'm just
job.
gonna say something. If they're 9-3, because the committee, how they are, it's like if the Lakers were, like the
I'm
Lakers.
fixing to debunk what you're about to say. But
No,
go
okay,
ahead.
the committee will let them be in the playoff no matter what. Yeah, huh?
If they were going to express that, they would have put Alabama ahead
No,
of
they would
SMU
not.
last
No,
season.
they're not, because
Yes, they would
Alabama
have.
gets so much more hate. Alabama gets hate. Ohio State doesn't.
People who are not Ohio State fans are going to hate on that
Oh,
decision.
but people don't. Okay, people don't. Okay, Big Ten liked, SEC disliked. People are more likely to be like, "Oh, they were good. They have good losses. Put them in for the Big Ten school." SEC school, you saw last year. They'd be like, "Oh, they lost to Vandy. Gone." You see what I'm saying? I think it's more likely you see a Big Ten school win less games, but be in. Okay.
I gotta disagree.
If it happens.
If the standard has already been set that Alabama gets passed on by SMU of all people, SMU, then
Miami also got
we're
passed.
gonna.
Miami also got passed.
But Miami didn't.
Miami had a better record. Didn't they? They were 10-2.
They were 10-2, but like
They were good. They had the Heisman. Or no, not Heisman. The first pick.
either way, we're getting way off topic.
Okay.
My point being, Ryan Day, he's on the hot seat because he's got to win against Michigan this year. If he doesn't, then I seriously think Ohio State's going to fire him. Which is stupid to
All right,
say,
carry on.
but it may happen.
Carry
Brian Kelly's another guy. And here's
on.
why.
I could see that, though.
Because outside of beating Alabama a couple of years ago,
Nothing.
what has Brian Kelly done at LSU? A couple of 8-4, 9-3 seasons.
Heisman, though.
For what Brian Kelly was supposed to be coming to LSU.
What did he do
and
at
what
Notre
he
Dame,
has
though?
been, well, he took the team to the national championship, the BCS national championship game against Alabama. They were the number one team. They didn't win. And then they made the college football playoff a couple times in the 14 playoff. So he did do
Okay.
some things at Notre Dame.
I'll give you that.
But he hasn't done it at LSU yet. This is his best team. This is his best opportunity to get to the playoff. Plus, it's a 12-team playoff. You would think it's easier to get there. But
well, you said that about Bama last year, and they missed.
all I'm saying is that this is a defining season for Brian Kelly. Because if they underwhelm again, I will say this. If LSU is 7-5 at the end of the season, Brian Kelly will no longer be the head coach of the LSU Tigers. Because LSU, just like a lot of teams in the SEC, they have high standards. And he has not provided for what they want. And so he will be gone if they don't make the playoff, I bet.
Okay. Sam Pittman, go.
Yeah, Sam Pittman's on here, and it's just simple. Arkansas, if they have a season where they don't make a bowl game, he will be gone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any question about it.
I would argue 6-6 he should be gone. And I don't know. Arkansas has like the worst,
He's a lot like Brett Bielema. If you look at Brett Bielema at Arkansas.
Oh, Brett Bielema's a good coach. I think Sam Pittman's a good coach.
And here's why. I just want to say this. Here's an example of why the SEC is much better than the Big Ten. It's because Brett Bielema, same coach. He coached at Arkansas. He couldn't really do anything. He goes to Illinois, and look, Illinois is a bowl team every single year.
But it's a play style.
All I'm saying is, if you want to look at competition-wise...
A lot of times, coaches are like quarterbacks. You have to have the right play style. And, like, the conference play style is a lot of what makes or breaks, your team. Because, like, you could put Nick Saban on, like, every single team. And some of those teams, or every conference, and at least one of those conferences, he would have struggled. Because it's the play style. Like, they're going to have different styles of play that are going to counter how you play, and you got to adapt to it.
Okay.
And that's like what I said about Luke Fickell. It's just a lot of his problems. It's just because his team just doesn't play how a Big Ten team plays. So.
Okay. Well, folks, it is time for our last two segments. We're going to start with our surprise team. So, Colton?
Just one team, right?
Yes.
All right. So my team is Nebraska. Like I said earlier, I didn't really put much thought into this. I just thought they have Walmart Patrick Mahomes. They have a good coach. It'd be cool to see them do good.
Yeah.
That is my only justification. I don't have like a long monologue about this. I just thought, good quarterback, good coach. Thumbs up.
Well, and you're going to laugh at me for this one.
Oh, no.
But I think Arkansas will greatly improve this season.
But he put him as your that's hypocrisy. You put him as your hot seat coach, but put him as your surprise team.
Because if you look at my justification for it is that if he doesn't do what I think he's going to do this season, then he will be gone. But I think Arkansas, if you look at them, I think they have a chance. I feel like they've got a great team this season. They, I think, will be 9-3 at the end of the season.
Okay. I would say my prediction would be about who do they play? Can we get their schedule? Here, I'll pull up their schedule.
Okay.
This is an easier way to do it. All right, let's see. They play A&M. Wait, how do I pull up? Wait, 1 second. Let me pull up a better version of this.
If you go to fbsschedules.com.
Yep, thank you. All right. Why is it listed like this? Okay, they play... Sorry, pulled up like every single year. So, give me 1 second.
Clearly, he hasn't been on FBS schedules.
I have. It pulled up differently. All right, they play A&M, Alabama A&M, which would be easy win. So, do it with me. 1 win.
1-0.
1-0. Arkansas State should be a win.
2-0.
They're gonna lose to Ole Miss. 2-1.
Yeah.
2-1.
Yeah.
They're gonna beat Memphis.
Yep. 3-1.
They'll lose Notre Dame.
Yep.
They'll probably beat Tennessee.
I could actually see it. Tennessee, I think, is going a down year.
I would say they lose to A&M.
Texas A&M.
That's Texas A&M. That's probably a toss-up, but I'd say they lose.
It's a 4-3.
They'll probably. Auburn's a toss-up. I would say they beat Auburn.
Okay.
That's also a toss-up.
5-3.
Mississippi State they'll beat.
Okay, so 6-3.
They'll lose to LSU. Lose to Texas.
6-4.
Lose Missouri.
6-5.
So 6-6.
Missouri is okay.
Missouri. Okay, there's a lot of toss-ups here. Missouri's a toss-up. Auburn's a toss-up. Tennessee's a toss-up. Ole Miss could be a toss-up. All these are a toss-up.
Yeah.
But from my professional opinion, 6-6 sounds about right to me.
I just got a gut feeling, folks. I think Arkansas.
So who are they beating in your opinion? Do yourself. Alabama A&M.
They'll beat them.
1-0. Arkansas State.
That's a win.
2-0. Ole Miss.
It's going to be close, And I think they could potentially pull out the win on that one.
Win or loss?
Win.
3-0. Memphis.
That's a win.
For Notre Dame.
They'll lose that one.
4-1. Tennessee.
They'll beat Tennessee.
5-1. Texas A&M.
I think
Some gears turning here.
that's probably a loss.
5-2.
Yeah, that's a loss.
Auburn Tigers.
Win.
Wait, I think that's 5-3.
6-2, I think.
6-2. Thank you. 6-2. LSU. No, sorry. Mississippi State.
That's a win.
7-2. LSU.
Loss.
7-3. Texas.
Okay, yeah, that's a loss.
7-4. Missouri.
Win.
So you think it'd be 8-4.
8-4. Okay, to be fair, I hadn't looked at the schedule quite yet, like the full schedule. So 8-4, that's fair. I think they can get there.
All right. Fair enough.
And I know, people are gonna say I'm crazy, but hey,
Actually, look at the comments. They're agreeing with you.
yeah.
One agreed with you.
One says that I'm probably gonna be smoking dope if I think 9-3 at that time, and then one says that Arkansas would be lucky to make a bowl game. Which I'm sorry, they're definitely in a bowl game this year. They're in a bowl game.
It depends.
Arkansas is a good football team this year.
All right.
I will die on this hill.
I guess you're tired. Okay. Playoffs.
All right.
This is the one where we're both going to be way off.
And I mean, I think, to be fair, that we didn't get any of our playoff teams listed on here, so we're just going to be naming it off.
Yep.
So you just have to follow along with us. So,
do we want to go 12-1 or 1-12?
let's just,
Do 1-12.
yeah.
All right. So do you want to do your 1C first? Or me do it.
You go ahead. You can
All right.
list your whole 12.
No, let's do 1, 2. Let's bounce. Okay. I got my 1 seed, Ohio State.
Okay. My number 1 seed is Alabama because they'll have the best win.
Of course it is.
Texas, well, both Alabama and Ohio State will have the best win. No, wait. I have Texas beating Ohio State. That's right. Never mind. Alabama has the best win with Texas.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Do we need to put our winners or no? We'll say our winners at the
Let's
end.
just say who we have in the playoff, and then we'll say who our national champion is.
All right. So then I got Georgia at number 2. The Bulldogs.
I disagree on that one.
The dogs are barking.
Ohio State will be the number 2 team in the college football playoff.
Okay. I got Texas at 3.
I agree. Texas will be number 3.
I got Oregon at 4. I think Oregon has an easy schedule of what I've seen.
I think Penn State gets in at number 4 because, and here's my reasoning because for 2 SEC, 2 Big Ten in the top 4. The rules have changed, and quite frankly, if you look at both of those teams that are, like, if you look at both of those matchups, those are the top 4 teams throughout the whole regular season, I think. So,
all right,
go ahead, 5.
I got LSU.
Okay. I gotta go with the ACC champions, Clemson, at number 5.
Okay. At 6, I got the Fighting Irish, Notre Dame.
I mean, I gotta go with Oregon Ducks.
7, Alabama. I don't think they're gonna do great, but I got them 7. I'm just skeptical about them.
I got Georgia at 7.
At 7, Georgia. How? How do you explain to me what's wrong with Georgia?
They'll lose to both Alabama and Texas.
Okay, but they would probably still. They end up higher.
They will be competitive throughout the regular season, but they're not beating Alabama or Texas in the regular season. It's not happening.
All right,
they're not good enough.
We're at 8, right?
Yeah.
All right, I got Penn State 8.
I got Notre Dame.
I got Miami at 9.
Got LSU.
I got Big 12 champs Kansas State at 10.
My number 10, Welcome to the playoff, Florida Gators.
I almost put them here at 11, but I had to go with the America's sweetheart at this point. The surprise team of the century, Nebraska. Patrick Mahomes. Fake Patrick Mahomes got it. He's going to be good. I'm not going to say I'm confident about that
My
one, but
number
that's
11,
good.
and it's not my number 11 ranked team. This is just because they have to be there. Iowa State.
Okay. I threw in UNLV at 12.
My number 12 will be Boise State.
So, okay, here's why I picked UNLV. I think Boise State would have been garbage last year had they not had Ashton Jennings. UNLV's got, well, they don't have the same team, but they have a lot of, good players. They have a great coach. I have a lot of faith in UNLV, and I think Boise State's going to fall off a cliff. And I just don't know. I don't think there's any real, competitive group. I think there's been a lot of, 10-2, 11-1. There's been a lot of good Group of 5 schools. But I don't think any's going to be better than UNLV. That's just me.
Okay. Well, here is the big moment, folks. This is the biggest prediction of them all, and that is, who do you have winning the national championship?
I have your least favorite team, Georgia, the Bulldogs. Hey, when it happens, you're crying. Don't come to me. I told you so.
Folks, I got to humbly disagree with this one.
Mm.
I got to go with my number one team in the college football playoff, the team that won the SEC, and folks, the Alabama Crimson Tide will be your national champions, and Kalen DeBoer will get all the haters off his back.
He'd still have
because
haters.
He will finally win a national championship for Alabama in his second year.
If you're still hating Ryan Day, people still could be hating Kalen DeBoer. It's true. But you know what? I respect it. We both picked SEC schools, so biased.
And this
SC biased.
And this is what if you watched my video from last night with me and Derek talking about Auburn and Alabama. This is my honest opinion. But the past few years, the SEC, yes, it has been kind of declining a little bit. But here is my honest opinion. This year, the SEC will have probably the biggest resurgence in the history of college football. Because if you look at the rankings, I think there's a legitimate chance the semifinals will be all SEC for the college football playoff.
I wouldn't go as far as say that, but I could see it.
You know
what I was close to doing?
I think the SEC is just going to be that much better because it just means more in the South.
You know what I thought about would be funny? If we did do our, who would win each game, I started to put Nebraska go to the top 4. But being serious, I think it's hard to argue with Georgia, Ohio State, even Notre Dame, Penn State. There's a solid 8 teams you could argue they're gonna go to the national championship. They're gonna go top 4. So it's really just a matter of what combination and who's gonna be surprisingly good, because that's all. It's almost always look at Florida State last year. Everyone said Florida State would be great, 2 wins, and then everyone's like, who was it? Everyone said was stinking was good. Indiana was one of them. Ole Miss missed, but a lot of people said Ole Miss wasn't going to be good. So there's always those teams who everyone's like, oh, they're going to be great, they're bad. And all the teams that are like, oh, they're bad, they're going to be good. So, predictions, Yeah.
So, we're going to have to revisit all these predictions at the end of the season for sure. And, we'll see how we did. And we'll see, for you in the chat, if y'all had something that y'all were more correct about than what we were, then then come on back at the end of the season and let's see how it is, because I'm interested, because predictions are always hit or miss. You never know what's going to be and what's real, because college football, this is why it's the greatest sport, is because it's so unpredictable. Now, I will say, with the expansion of the playoff, NIL, and all that, it makes it less unpredictable. But at the end of the day, college football still is the best.
And that's the fun predicting. It's because you're wrong, but you can laugh at it. Like, Nebraska's not going to be good. I mean, they're going to be good, but they're like 8-4 good. But it's funny to just say, oh, Nebraska, they're going to the playoffs. And then at the end of the year, be like, I put Nebraska that far? It's just fun. So
honestly, here's my honest opinion. For all the people out there that are like hopping on the Big Ten bandwagon, what would be really nice, even though I got a couple of Big Ten schools in the playoff, would be really funny. Let's say a team like Nebraska gets into the Big Ten championship game at like 8-4, and
that would be funny.
Because Ohio State's like, let's say Ohio State's 12-0 going into that game, and then you have Nebraska at 8-4 because they're the second best team in the conference because the next best team's like 8-4 behind them, but Nebraska's got a tiebreaker.
Yeah,
I just think it would be funny if that happens. If I'm just being honest.
Mm. You want to read some of the comments?
Yeah, this is one of the most commented videos I've had.
Well, at least in a while.
So, of course, like we were saying about the Arkansas thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly I
controversial opinion. Hot take.
Yeah, it's a hot take. Hey, who knows? I could actually clip that and make
people mad.
Yeah. So, group of 5 schools. We have
You want to show the comment?
We got Louisiana in here. Louisiana is being mentioned. Jacksonville State.
I like that. I did. I don't think it's kind of like the Nebraska thing. It'd be fun. I don't think it really would happen, but
here's another one. Indiana had a cupcake schedule last season.
I agree.
Got one this year.
I agree, but you gotta admit, even if it is a cupcake schedule, Kurt is it Cignetti? Kurt Cignetti, he was a good coach. There's a lot of games that I feel like they shouldn't have won by as large of a margin as they did. What game was it where they won by like 25, something like that? They blew a couple teams out.
They blew Nebraska out. Everybody thought that was going to be a really good football game.
Yeah. Either way, I mean,
I will admit I was kind of included in that one too. So,
yeah. Cupcake schedule or not, you gotta give Cincinnati his flowers.
Okay,
he did good. For what it's worth, he did good.
Well, folks, that is our predictions. Of course, like we said, we're going to revisit all of these at the end of the season, and you can expect Colton to join us all throughout the season.
Probably. Talk about Nebraska more.
The fact is, we'll have another video.
I could have said USC. That's even worse.
USC, oh my. Either way, folks, that is pretty much all we have for tonight. So yeah, thanks for watching, and forgot one last thing. We got 2 announcements. So here we go. Folks, I had the pleasure Tuesday night of bringing you an interview with a candidate for mayor of Hartselle, Alabama. Missy Evans will join me. We're going to tape it Tuesday afternoon, and then Tuesday night I'll be here to show you the pre-recorded interview, which I'm very excited that I get this opportunity to actually do a big-time interview like this. This is big, so I'm excited. Very exciting times.
Mm-hmm.
And then another announcement, and this is college football related.
Okay.
25 for 25. Now, you may be asking me, Cooper, what does that mean? Well, as you know, we've been slacking on our player series that we do each preseason leading up to the college football season. So, I was trying to figure out a new idea. So I was like, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the SPN rankings, and we're going to go from the 25th best team to the number 1 team, and we're going to pick the best player from each team and highlight them each day, starting July 30th and going all the way to August 23rd. So 25 players in 25 days in 2025. Kind of funny how that works, but hey, it's going to be cool.
Yep. Also, next week. I don't know what we're doing, but we're gonna do the Oklahoma and Alabama previews,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be helping with the Oklahoma one. I think.
Yeah.
Who's doing the Alabama one? Mere Daddy.
We're gonna confirm some details on that one, folks, and when we get more details, we'll announce what we're doing and before we get the video out there to y'all. Whether it's a live stream or if it's just a pre-taped video, we'll get the information out for that video because we're still working on that one.
All right.
So, Colton, thanks for coming on. This has been fun. Haven't seen you in a couple months here on the video, so it's nice to have you back.
Yep. Always good to be here.
Folks, college football season is a month away, and we are so excited to get you there. So, without a doubt, this is College Ball Wraparound. We'll see you again later. Good night, everybody.